Hey everybody, I'm going to play this documentary for you that's very hard to find. I was interviewed for this documentary 30 years ago.
Know what they're sending their girls into. It's a meat market. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. And what happens if you say no? You don't work.
Every week, dozens of young American girls walk off airplanes in Paris and Milan, certain that their faces will be the next to beam from the covers of the fashion magazines. They are girls as young as 15 and 16, recruited by talent scouts or sent by their local modeling agencies, because Europe has more fashion houses and magazines, and it's easier to get that first big break there than in New York. The girls are told that they'll have a modeling agency in Europe, which will get them work and be their home away from home.
Okay, so I was in the most promising model contest with John Robert Powers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From there, I went to New York for a competition at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. I walked the runway one time, and Monique Pollard, you'll see her in pictures with Cindy Crawford, Naomi, and all the gang, approached me and said she was Coral from Florida, a real nice little grandmotherly looking lady. Yeah, and then I met Douglas Ash, who was my handler in New York, the president of American Models, and he paraded me around New York City. Then they shipped me off to Paris for Claude Haddad, which you will soon see in this documentary. He's the right-hand man to Jean-Luc Brunel. I was in Paris, I was in Milan. It was freaking hell. I will continue. I'm going to do live streams today on my personal experiences. But again, they called me and interviewed me for this story. This aired and nothing freaking happened.
They are girls like Sherry Bolts from Pompano Beach, Florida, a cheerleader who dropped out of high school and used her savings to buy a plane ticket to Europe when she was just 17. Her local modeling agency helped arrange it and still gets a percentage of her European income. And girls like Megan Douglas, who was a switchboard operator in Washington, D.C., when her photograph won her a spot in a modeling contest. And girls like Kimberly Barker of Namba, Idaho, whose parents took out a loan to get the money to send her to Europe and to give her a shot at the big time. Though the odds are about 1,000 to 1 that a girl will end up a successful model. A model like Debbie Haggerty, who makes about $150,000 a year, and says the top models may do all right, but it's rough for all the others trying to break through.
Nasty business, and I don't think these parents have any idea what they're sending their girls into.
What the parents are told by those local modeling agencies and talent scouts is that their daughters have been signed up with European modeling agencies which will take care of everything and become the girls' family abroad.
How many girls are on option for this?
So it's something of a shock when the girls discover that a lot of those agencies routinely take as much as 3/4 of the girls' salary. For instance, charging fees on the photographs the girls need for promotion, and ostensibly deducting taxes and Social Security, even though most of the girls are working illegally without work permits.
We have to check for that.
It's very confusing.
Servan Sherwat is...
Okay, so there was a time period where Claude Haddad in Paris sent me to this governmental building with my booker, Tom. Tom was actually a woman. We literally went in this governmental building. No one spoke English. We were in like a cage with a whole bunch of other people, like waiting. And then I had to go up in front of a freaking judge. They talked French, and they did some papers and stamped it. So I contend the UN is involved, and they made us teenage diplomats, and that's how they sent us over to Paris.
President of a fledgling models union in Paris. She's helping some of the girls bring lawsuits against the agencies to learn just where all that money goes.
What happens if the girl goes to the agency and says, wait a minute, how much did the client...
They never want to explain it. They just say, okay, baby, we have a lot of experience, and we have to pay the tax department, and we have to pay a lot of things, so don't try to understand.
So do the agencies really pay Social Security on an illegal work?
We don't even know exactly if they pay all the amounts. I'm sure they don't pay for that.
The modeling agencies also own apartments all around Paris, which they rent out to the new girls who come to town.
So this is exactly how my Paris was. Mine was on Rue de Varenne, across from Musée Rodin, and also Napoleon's tomb. Okay, we all lived there. Claude's Adonis-like son, Pascal, lived upstairs where they'd have freaking orgies and do drugs. Okay, I walked in on an orgy one time to just go get the freaking vacuum cleaner. This was my life. Okay, insanity.
Several girls to an apartment, and each girl paying a lot of rent.
I lived in an apartment that was by no means nice. There was 4 girls living there at the time. We did have our own rooms, but the rooms were like the size of boxes.
Courtney Powell is from Stoneboro, Pennsylvania.
And how much was the rent?
$900 a month.
And you probably $900 a month?
$900 a month. That was when the franc was low, and we were each paying that.
Oh, hi.
Eileen Ford runs the Ford Modeling Agency in New York, one of the largest agencies in the world. She's known for the way she protects her girls.
Okay, she is a sick pedophile liar.
She uses the European agencies to book work for her girls abroad. So a contract with her can have a profound effect on a European agency's business. We met her at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where she was looking for new faces. We asked her about the girls' complaints that their rent is way overpriced.
I've heard that, and I know that it's true. It is true that they're overcharged for these apartments? Yeah, they're overcharged in New York, too. By the agencies? Sure.
The girls say not only do a lot of agencies take financial advantage of them, sometimes they're taken advantage of in other ways, too.
Oh, my God.
This is my agent, Claude Haddad. If he is not a reptilian from hell, seriously, you know what my day was? 16 years old, I'd have to stand in this man's office in front of a huge wall mirror, this gross, creepy office with dark curtains, and he would stand behind me and like feel my body. I'd have to stand there in my bra and underwear, and he'd tell me where I had to improve my body. Yeah, and this is the man that sent me to pretended I was going to a doctor's appointment for a checkup, but he actually was sending me for freaking breast implants, and I ran out of the hospital.
An agency owner named Claude Haddad. For years, his Paris agency, Mademoiselle Prestige, welcomed teenage American girls. Like other agency heads, Haddad offered many of the new girls help with the transition, temporary housing, a room in his apartment.
Nice body, huh?
Do you sometimes feel you've awakened in a candy store?
Not in a flower shop. I'm a gardener. They're not candy, they are flowers.
And there
Just smell them, that's it. You smell the perfume.
And when they're staying in your apartment,
Yes.
you don't feel a temptation to
Absolutely
walk
not.
in on
No,
them?
absolutely not.
He's full of shit. He had several girls living there, and he would rape them. I went to a party at his frickin' little castle. There was a big-time model named Ashley living there, too. He discovered Grace Jones and who's the wife of Mick Jagger, whoever that, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She's a big deal. So that's where he started. And I believe I met Epstein at his little Paris apartment. Not little, it was a freaking mansion. Yeah, and then when I was there at Claude's house, everyone started taking their clothes off, you know, because it's topless there. So let's just whip our shirts off. Yeah, and I left. I walked home alone. They were all taking their clothes off.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But Lorraine was 16 when Claude Haddad discovered her at a Paris street and brought her to his agency and to his house.
He asked me to come to his room, and I wouldn't go to his room, so he had decided to get into bed with me in my room. And just trying to kiss you, trying to block you, you know, in a corner or against a wall or anything. And you would just keep talking and trying to squiggle out of it, you know.
How many of the girls who came in told you that he had tried this sort of thing with them?
All of them.
All the girls I lived with had all except one.
How many teenage models, Mr. Haddad, have you slept with?
What do you mean by teenage?
The young girls, 16 to 19.
16, almost never.
Let me read you some letters.
Yeah.
These are letters.
I have a lot of letters, too.
He walked in on me while I was in the bath, while I was changing in the room, and even did things like jumping in the bed with me while I was trying to sleep.
Yeah, and by the way, at the models' apartments, there were no locks on the doors. None. And the toilet was like a separate little room from the bath. So I'd be trying to take a bath or a shower, and we had a cokehead photographer, Barry, that lived upstairs. He would just barge in when I was taking a shower and a bath. It was deliberate. It's how they set it up.
True. I'm asking.
No, most of this, it's always, when people say something, it's always a little truth.
What's the little truth in this?
Yes, very little truth.
What do you mean little truth? What is the little
That
truth?
I hug them, that I try to flirt with them, but never more. They can say what they want.
Here's some of the words they used. Sexually disturbed. Pervert. You had to sleep with him to work.
Yep.
He almost raped me.
Yep.
I cannot. What do you say? How many almost raped me? You always use almost raped me.
I'm quoting. But in this case, it was a 15-year-old girl.
Then I
15 years old?
I don't remember. Maybe it's possible. I don't know.
Then Claude Haddad went on to say, what happens with the girls is not really his fault.
When a French girl starts to play with her body, she knows that she can have problem. She can start to have problem with men. And in America, I found out that when a girl does that, it's just, she doesn't even mean it. It's a game, but she's not thinking of what she's doing. It took me a long time to realize this.
Do you work with Claude Haddad?
No, sir. No more.
Liar.
Wouldn't send your girls to him?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you're full of
right.
shit.
Why?
Because I don't think he behaved properly with some of them. I know he didn't.
What did he do?
Did you behave properly, ma'am? Did you behave properly? Fucking pervert.
No, and I know what he did. I have letters from girls telling me what he did. To me, it's just so reprehensible. Just so appalling. That some old sleazebag would come along and touch a girl.
But one man Eileen Ford does associate with in Paris is this man, the head of Karen Models, one of the largest...
Okay, let's get this straight. Eileen Ford knows exactly what's going on there. It's such... Look, see how fake they are and liars? Jean-Luc Brunel and Claude Haddad are freaking partners. They're business partners.
...most prestigious agencies in the country. His name is Jean-Luc Brunel. The girls told us Brunel is very careful about the models who are under the protection of Eileen Ford. But Courtney and Sherry, who are not Ford models, told us about the dinners he invites his other girls to attend with his male friends.
It's a me, Marcus. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. He is acting as a matchmaker. He's got the agency. He's got the girls. His friends say, oh, Jean-Luc, I'd like to meet some girls, or we're having a party tonight. Can you bring some girls?
And what happens if you say no?
You don't work.
Exactly. And they're all princes from faraway lands. Lebanon, Iraq, Italy. Freaking, you name it. They rolled in every prince of the world, and they made money off freaking trying to just date us and matchmaker us. That's it.
So you've actually known, be very careful on this, you actually have known that he has made someone pay a professional penalty for saying no.
I know, I paid a penalty for saying no.
We all did.
I was personally proposed to by himself, Jean-Luc, and I said, no way. I laughed in his face, and I had no more appointments, and I never worked.
What about the fact that people say when you come over here, you've come over knowing what you're getting into? Everyone knows.
How can you know what you're getting into? How can you know what you're getting into? This is like a foreign country, you know? I mean, I'm from Florida, little city, Pompano Beach, you know? I mean, come on. How am I going to know what goes on in Paris, you know, or Milan? I mean, I don't even speak the language. I don't know anyone, you know? I'm in a new environment, you know? I don't know anyone. I have to trust the people that I come over here with. I mean, I'm naive, I'm young.
A lot of these bigwigs at the agencies literally have a scale where in this hand they have your career and in this hand they have what they want. And your career can go up if they get what they want. If they don't get it, your career goes down.
Many girls ever come to you and tell you that Jean-Luc invites them to parties where he has male friends, and it's clear what the arrangement is when you get there, and that you are expected to be the friend of his male friends.
Look at her.
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe they said it, but you don't believe it's true? I find it hard to believe it's true.
Oh, my God.
We've been told it is. Oh, I'm sure you have. If you wouldn't be asking if you weren't told that was true. But I like to think that our girls are not treated that way. And I like to think that were that true, I would know it because I've broken off more than one association here in my life. And you'd break it off immediately if it were true. I would.
At discotheques like the Bandouche and the Palace, models are admitted free. When we filmed at the Bandouche, Jean-Luc Brunel was there. A number of models told us he has used cocaine heavily and offered it to the girls, along with help in their careers. Many of the girls who spoke with us said openly that they had been regular cocaine users. But some warned that there were things that went beyond cocaine. This one asked to be photographed in...
By the way, the queens of the dance club, Paulina Poroskova with Rick Ocasek. So, Paulina, you whining about not having Rick's money, nobody gives a shit.
shadow.
So you first met Jean-Luc Brunel in a nightclub when he offered you drugs, cocaine. And Jean-Luc, did he use drugs?
Oh, yes.
You say, oh, yes, a lot?
Well, that's why I used to like to see him, because he'd always give me a little vial of cocaine and say, you know, go have a good time in the bathroom. That was more or less, he did that with all the girls.
Yep, pretty much they all did. I never did a drug, I never drank, because I knew if I did anything, these monsters would rape me.
This girl told us a few years ago she went to Jean-Luc's house with a few of his friends. She said a powerful hallucinogenic drug was slipped into her drink, and that Jean-Luc kept urging her to go in and take a bath.
I started hallucinating, and at first, you know, I was very confusing, because it was very scary, because if you don't know that you've been drugged and all of a sudden you start hallucinating, that's very scary.
She said she managed to get out of the house, but stayed disoriented for 24 hours. But this ex-model says several years ago she went to Jean-Luc's house and didn't get away. She asked to have her voice and face disguised.
He gave you a drink?
Yes.
You drank it, and then what?
I blacked out. I don't remember anything after that.
The next thing you remember
was being in this man's bed.
Who was he?
Do I have to say the name? It was Jean-Luc from Karen's modeling agency.
You were raped?
Yes, I do know that.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm positive. I know.
You think everybody knows this about Jean-Luc Brunel?
Oh, yes. A lot of people know that. A lot of people.
They continue to deal with him.
Everyone continues to deal with it. I don't know why.
We played a tape of the second girl's.
Do you see how this strategy is just like Project Veritas? State the obvious, drag it out, excuse me, and then ultimately, like these people, they did nothing. Again, 30 years old this shit is. 30 years!
Story of drugs and rape to Eileen Ford.
I don't know what to tell you. That's horrible. And this is the first time you've ever heard one of these stories. Absolutely. Because we have talked to 5 other girls who say that they have had drugs put in their drinks by Jean-Luc or Jean-Luc's friends. I hope you're wrong. And for his sake, I hope you're wrong.
Eileen Ford says she's sure Jean-Luc has used drugs, and she even warned him about it.
I have certainly asked him never to have drugs around in front of my models. That's all you've ever said to him? Well, that's a pretty fair warning. But were you ever told about this and ever raised it with him? The drugs? You mean being doped up and put to bed? Getting girls drugged up and in the bed with him or his friends? No. Have girls ever come back and complained to you that he took them to parties with people who dealt in drugs? No.
So here they are, the fresh new faces from Omaha and Washington and Pompano Beach and Wichita. Every girl hoping for a lightning bolt that will transform an ordinary teenager into a superstar. While not far away, the wiser and older girls of 19 and 20 say someone has to warn them what may lie ahead.
I can't really see any solution to the problem that's in Paris at this moment, because I think there'll always be people who are sending their girls over thinking, well, she's different. Every mother believes that her daughter is different. And it's sad. I think it really is sad when she could have been going to her junior prom. She was hanging out at the bandouche with a bunch of playboys, shoving cocaine up her nose.
But to be honest with you, I wanted to go. And I saw this as an opportunity, and I still see it as an opportunity. I know I was meant there to be a watcher. For me personally, my parents didn't have any idea. My parents loved me at the time, and they had good intentions. But now they don't. And so, Mom and Dad, I don't understand. I don't know how you thought this day would never come. For the past 2 years, I've lived hunted and on the run, and you allowed me to sink as low as to living in the woods by myself with nothing. And I'll never understand it, and I'll never be able to express to you the depths of confusion and heartache that I feel. And all I want is my kids back. I don't care about any of this. It's not that hard to do the right thing, is it? I love you, Sid and Grace.
This was a famous Spanish model who was invited to an Illuminati party. She ran out from everything she had seen. Listen.
¡Lárgate! ¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad!